symmetrical patterns. But then I decided, well, what happens if I just rotate or mirror just one of the four, completely blowing away, the symmetry, and then repeat that block, which still makes a pattern.
Right.
So it was kind of cool.
How are you doing this? Were you doing it on paper in a computer program?
I was doing this with graph paper, pencil, and a ruler. Since then, I have gotten into computer graphics and software such as Electric Quilt.
Yeah, it's funny. You have to connect. There's a woman that we interviewed, and she's very into. She's a computer scientist, and so she's kind of like you in the sense that she likes to see the patterns and how to change it, and she was using Excel. She was using it was. I was like, How are you doing that? Like, she was like, yeah, she used Excel, and she would do it. She's on the faculty at a university, so she was doing these patterns while she was in faculty meetings. And I was like, there's like fancy programs. She's like, no, I just used Excel. I was like, weird.
Oh, good Lord. I like to hear
I don't even know how you do that. I can't quite figure it out. It seems like you just have like little squares. But your stuff is really cool. I'm looking at your website. So you did Symmetry. And then you have a book called Beyond Symmetry. So what happened in your journey?
The Symmetry, the Beyond Symmetry was probably my first book, and I look at it now and like, ooh, not very well written and kind of goofy. It was just kind of thrown together, and I should know better. The next one will be better. The next one will be better. But I wanted to play with the fact that this little patch could be used over and over and over again, and the patch I have is divided into thirds. It's a sort of a little 9 patch, and around the outer edge of the square, there are 2 spots on each side of the 4 sides, and I have a line that either begins or ends at each of those 8 spots, those each points. So no matter how you rotate the squares or mirror it, these lines will always connect with other lines.
It's really cool.
And then those lines in themselves form the boundary of a shape. So I'm not looking at half square triangles or quarter square triangles. I'm getting more organic sort of shapes, sometimes birds, sometimes fish, depending on the arrangement of the squares. And then you color them differently. So as opposed to coloring a patch the same way for the entire quilt, you might have one patch colored 2 different ways, which would bring a wonderful pattern, to life.
Yeah, really interesting.
So I got into tessellations at that point, where the shapes are interlocking. Please hold on 1 second. I'm burning my lunch. Hold on.
Okay. You okay?
Oh, hello.
Hello? You okay?
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I baked these little quiche last night, and I ate one, and I put one in aluminum foil, and an hour ago,
that sounds like me.
I threw the little packet in the oven and turned on the oven and said, all right, now in about 10 minutes, come back here and eat this before your interview.
Right. And then suddenly
in the oven all this time, and I just now started smelling. Ooh, that smells great. I go, no, I shouldn't smell that. If I smell that,
that's very funny.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that.
No. It's totally cool. Okay, so the Celtic Knots, is that kind of like you've done a bunch of stuff, and they're so beautiful. Is that kind of what you're talking about interlocking kind of things? Or is that something different?
The tessellations, this is more like M.C. Escher.
Yeah, right.
And the Celtic Knots came later.
Got it.
Though they're kind of interrelated.
Yeah.
But but yeah, the tessellations I love. So I have a website called Tessellation Nation uh, that uses this block, this patch that I use, and on a daily basis, it would publish a new pattern using that one block. And so it actually published 512 different
Wow.
patterns
I'm at
generated
the.
from
I think I'm at the website now. This is the same block over and over again. Is that what
over
you're
and over
doing here?
again. And I think in the
Really?
upper left hand corner, you'll see a little group of four that are highlighted in red. That
Uh,
shows you that what that pattern is based on.
got
The
it.
next and then the next page, that group of four, I guess that would serve as the key for that pattern.
Got it. That's really interesting. And then how were you making each of these different iterations through the software program?
I'm sorry.
How were you making these iterations, the different versions that you were
Oh,
doing?
I did in Word of all
You
things. Just
did.
kind of just drawing. Yeah, I did drawings in Word.
Interesting. And then how often do you make the quilt once you've drawn it?
Well, the fact that I have the world's largest library of patchwork blocks from a single
That is so cool.
block. I don't make as many as you think I do.
Well, you couldn't.
Like,
It would take forever.
I don't have enough lives to. I think I have designed more quilts than I have life to quilt them.
I love them.
So
They're really cool. That's
it
really
was
cool.
it was
Then how would
fun
you?
because
So I'm at your website. I put in Tessellation Nation. It got me to that category in the archive. How would people, if they love these things, do they contact you? Like, how do you make them if you like them? What is it, by your book, or sort of
oh
how do
no,
we how do we do it?
it's a very simple block. It's a very simple patch. I mean, it's printed right there, and people could lift it if they want it and use it. I mean,
Interesting.
it's just a matter of color it and decide what colors you want, where you want them,
Yeah.
and go with it. Which kind of was something I looked at and thought about when I first started. It was like, oh, I'm a designer. I can design quilts. I'll sell all these patterns. But then I got to looking at this and I go, well, Raymond, you have a patch, which makes thousands and hundreds of patterns, and no one's going to buy this if because I can't sell it because I sell this, and you can do anything with it. You can do
Yeah, they're
everything
so
with
cool
it.
though. Okay, so tell me how I get to. I don't think I got to the right place. So I can see, like, it says like FKOOR, comma 1-1M-2-2M. Tell me what I'm looking at exactly. This is
That the letters and numbers are a notation system I developed because the patch it can be rotated 4 different times, in 360 degrees,
yeah.
and then the patch can also be mirrored. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the patch rotating clockwise, and then 1M, 2M, 3M, 4M represents the mirror
One
image of
mirror,
one.
two mirror. That's really
Correct.
interesting. Okay, I get that part. And then
So
where's the patch itself? Like, I'm not visual. I mean, I'm very slow visually. So tell me, how do I understand what the patch is? Like the basic patch you're using over and over again.
At the hold on.
You looking?
I'll go there.
Okay. This is really cool.
So you're like you see 1111 or
Okay.
any of these pages.
Yeah.
The group of 4 patches in the upper left hand corner, bordered in red.
So FQ, you know what? I meant Safari. So I meant, oops, sorry. That's it. Sorry, that's my alarm. I can't turn off. Sorry. Let me see if I can go to Firefox because sometimes
Is
things
this
don't work.
Tessellation Nation?
Tessellation Nation. I'm at Nacho Grandma's Quilts. Should I go to Tessellation Nation?
I'll go there.
Should I go to Tessellation Nation? Would that be better? Oh, wait. Tessellation Nation.
I just have to go to where you are, and then I can see what you're looking at.
Tessellation Nation.
All right. I'm at Nacho Grandma's Quilts.
Okay.
Was there a specific?
No, it doesn't matter. Just any of them. I'm just trying to get a sense of if someone goes to your website and falls in love with them, then what? You know. Tessellation Nation, Nacho. Right. Let's see if I see it. Maybe it works better here. Okay, so I'm like at F. It's like 1111. So the first one coming up FGHKQR 1111.
Okay.
Then what do I do?
And the pattern you're looking at?
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like sideways.
What's the address you're at? Is that Tessellation Nation? Two words?
Tessellation. I'm at naturograndmas.com/category/Tessellation-Nation. But you think I should go to Tessellation Nation, just do that one?
Correct. But that's written Tessellation Nation with one N at the end of Tessellation, and
that's cool. That's clever. All right, I'm slowly getting there. No, it's not getting me there. Okay, that's why we're not live. People would be bored.
Yeah, I'm glad. It's like,
all right. Oh, look. Okay, I'm there. Okay, so Tessellation Nation, but no double N. So Tessellation Nation, and okay. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so at the top right-hand corner, it shows you the block, right? Is that what it's doing?
The top left corner.
I'm sorry, the top left corner. Right, it shows you the block. And the block is always, that's really cool.
The same patch.
How did you come up with that patch to begin with? That's really interesting.
Well, the patch, as I said, the block is divided into thirds. So each side was divided, in thirds. And these 5 lines connect those 8 spots.
I love it. That's really cool. This is really cool. And then how do you have a pattern, or how do you know how to make that first block? The block shape, the basic block.
Oh, I guess what I could provide is a blank patch. I think that's what this site is missing that. So if I had like the patch, then someone could download the patch,
right?
And because I do these with paper piecing, it can be done.
That's what it looks like. I love paper piecing. It's like my very favorite part.
Or it can be done with templates.
Yeah.
But I think if I should, maybe I need to
that would be
come
great.
back to this website and add some stuff.
Because if you did it in different paper piecing sizes, then you'd know how many you needed, right? You could identify how many you would need, I guess.
True.
Or how big you wanted it. So you could just modify it from.
And as you're going down the page, you can see that the identifier, like 1111, 1112, 1113, but it's this lower right hand patch in that 4 patch that is rotating each time.
Yeah, I see that.
The other 3 are the same.
That's remarkable. How did you come up with that initial? That's just remarkable. That is so like your head. Like, how did you think of that? That's so insane.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know. I'm just a genius. I don't know why.
Well, it was partly the idea that when, like, you're looking at this little 4 patch in the upper left hand
Right.
corner.
Yeah.
And that was like the little test patches I made when I was learning